Hello everyone, my name is Chris and I'm with the Hunter Art Museum. In a few moments we're going to be taking a walk in nature and talking about how we can make art to decorate our homes and be inspired by the things we see around us. I hope you all have been able to get outside. I know that in the midst of everything that's been going on lately, I've really taken a lot of peace and comfort in being able to even just step outside onto my front porch and sit for a while, especially when it's been nice out. So one of the things that I do, anyone that knows me professionally or personally knows that I'm a collector. I love to make things from things I find. So today, our inspiration is based in taking a minute to step outside or even just walk through our homes and look for things that maybe we haven't noticed and grab and pick up things that inspire us. So what I'd like to do now is I'm outside in my yard and I do walk around my yard quite a bit and enjoy just kind of finding all the little things that are popping up from spring. After the storms we've had recently, there's been a lot of debris and things that have fallen about, but sometimes there's a lot of really beautiful things in that. I'm a sucker for a good branch, but when I find things like this, I just find them really naturally beautiful, and that's the kind of thing I would even hang up on my wall. So I guess what I want you to do today is to think about how you can find things that normally would be something that maybe you would just notice, and stop for a minute and really appreciate how beautiful it is. And let's think about how we can turn that into a work of art. So we're going to take a moment and explore, be outside. I find lots of bits and pieces every season, and I really enjoy getting a chance to appreciate things for what they are. So as we are wandering and finding these lovely things, for those of you that are just joining us, we're taking a moment to breathe. We're taking a moment to be appreciative of the days that aren't raining, of the days that aren't too windy or too stormy. And we're going to find some objects that are naturally beautiful as an option to turn into a work of art. So I've been grabbing little things as we go, pine cones, pods, beautiful branches. In a moment I'm going to take you guys inside to where I do my work and show you some other things I've found. When you're in your home, if you don't have a yard to wander around in, look for things that, I know everybody has a junk drawer. Those junk drawers can be really unexpected treasure troves for art making. Old keys, leftover corks from wine. I suppose some of us have been drinking more wine lately. Toys, broken bits of things, spools. There's a lot of beauty in things that sometimes we get used to discarding. So we're going to take a walk inside with me now. And I'm heading into my studio. I'm very lucky to have a space in my home where I can make art. And I've set up some things I wanted to show you. So as I mentioned, I am a collector of things. I've gone out and grabbed a few things I wanted to show you and things that you might have around your home as well. So some of the materials that, oh, hi everyone, so good to see you guys. Some things that you can find, bowls. I was looking around, there was a nest from last year that had been abandoned. When I'm walking on the street, I sometimes find bits of things left over from construction, dried plants. My neighbors were trimming their bushes, and these were just so pretty. And they're already dried, which makes it a really perfect kind of art making material. You don't have to worry about it going bad. I said I gather things. I'm always finding old stuff. Jars, old mason jars. You can put, my kids are also collectors. So when we're out on vacation, I tell them to pick up rocks and things as a way to, as long as you're in a safe space to do that, obviously. where it's permitted, sometimes items like this become really memorable keepsakes. And become a really unique way of remembering a place. I'm going to show you something really special right now. This is something that my mom started when I was a kid and probably before me. But we took old printer boxes. Oh, my mom just tuned in. How perfect. Hi, Mom. But we took these old printer box drawers, and when we go on vacation or we go special places, you can put in, like, these are corks from special occasions, ticket stubs from movies, from concerts, little items. So when you go on vacation, instead of buying these big fancy things to remember a place by, just finding little memorable things and having a place where you can put them up on the wall becomes a really unique one of a kind way to remember your experience. So what we're doing is thinking about how we can take these objects that we find that are beautiful, that capture our eyes, and turn them into interesting assemblages. An assemblage is sort of a collage done with objects. And we have some great inspiration for this in the Hunter Museum that I'll show you in just a moment. And here's some things. I had an old glass jar. I had some little toys. My daughter loves to bring me shells and little bits of things that she finds. So putting them into these containers, one thing is you can switch it out all the time. I'm constantly changing things. And then also it's a great way to create something beautiful that whenever I look at it, I remember my daughter bringing me the shell, or I remember finding the little clump of moss. And yeah, things go bad or they get dusty, but you can get rid of them and do it again. That's kind of what's so beautiful about it. And thank you, Andrea. I also love creating little memories in ways that are easy. I mentioned some Hunter inspiration. I'm going to whip you over here. Sorry, I don't want to make you dizzy. But here at look at this. I'm going to mix technologies. Here's some visual images for you in the Hunter collection. Here's some inspiration for you to think too about other objects that you can bring into your home. So this is by Ann Nichols, the Tapestry series. Just something as beautiful as a flower in a bowl on a beautiful piece of fabric. It's a beautiful little space you can make for yourself that's peaceful, beautiful and colorful, a little bit more elaborate, and it's kind of hard to see here, is Paul Stankard's Golden Orb diptych. Again, this idea of really honoring objects and natural things for how beautiful they are. So we're going to go back over to my little work spot here, and we'll make something. So I love seed pods. I love dried bits. You can definitely get a sense of my aesthetic here. So everybody has a different thing they're into. But I have this bowl on my dining room table all the time. And basically I'm just constantly switching out stuff in it that I think is beautiful. So like if I find this nest, I might put the nest into the bowl to kind of display it. And then think about other things that I can put next to it that I think are beautiful. Let's see. Even a couple of keys. Or a few of these little pods. And maybe I'd put something, actually, here. I have this little doll figure. Just something bright and different and unusual. And again, this is something I change all the time. If you don't like it, you can change it. It's your house. So it's really fun to change things out and just come up with creative ways. And like I said, I might put this on my table for a little bit, and I might just play with it a little bit every day, find something new. Or then it gives me, like right now, I wish I had like a flower or something I could put here. If I don't like the one I have, I can go for a walk, and I'll actually start thinking about objects that I can find that would look good and would fit into this display. I have lots of jars in my house. I have lots of vases as well. So vases can be a great place. I showed you that awesome branch before. Even just putting a simple branch of something into a glass vase becomes this really beautiful piece that can sit on your table or in maybe on your desk where you're working right now. It just gives you something beautiful to look at and inspire you. Old cigar boxes or just old wooden boxes of any kind. Again, you can put a few objects into them. You can play around with materials and textures. One of the best things about these kind of displays is to think about contrasting colors and shapes and textures. So if you have something that's really hard, maybe next to something really organic, and you can move them around. You'll notice that I'm not like permanently securing any of these things because these are really meant to be temporary, beautiful spaces that we're creating. They're not meant to be a permanent thing. Now you can definitely do that. You can use some glue. You can use super glue. I love, I'm also a big thrift store person, so like finding old vintage cards and things like that get really interesting to me. You can absolutely use even just regular glue or a super glue or a two-part epoxy to create something more permanent if you really like it and want to keep it. This is just a bowl I picked of objects on the hike. I was walking to my daughter's school, and these are already dried. So if you do decide to make something permanent, make sure that it's not something that's going to deteriorate further, and use a glue that is sort of equal strength to the weight of the object that you're using. If you're gluing paper, then glue, any kind of glue like Elmer's glue is fine. But when you start using a heavier metal or some of these natural materials, you might need something a little bit stronger. Okay? So I hope that gives you a little bit of inspiration. There's a lot of beautiful things out there. Maybe rethink things you have, like I said, in your junk drawer. Rethink the things that you find around you every day, and consider how they might be something you can put on display or create a special memory from. Especially when you do get to go out on vacations again, or you get to go places with your friends and family. Sometimes just keeping a little cork from a special evening dinner and writing on the edge of it and putting it into a box can be a great way to remember things that are special to you and connect us to the people and the places that we love. So I hope this was inspiring to you. I hope to see some images of beautiful things you're making out there in your homes. Please share to the Hunter Facebook page. I know you can do the hashtag Hunter at Home or Virtual Hunter on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm sure lots of links will be shared with this when they repost it after we're all done for today. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you, Tegan. Thank you guys for tuning in. I can't wait to see what you make. And I hope to see you at the museum again sooner than later. Take care. Bye, everybody.